Alright, hi, Mr. Cole here, and today's topic is integer exponents. And our goal for today is we're going to solve integer exponents. Our California standards for today covers number sense 2.1. Alright, so let's just start off with a quick pattern. And we're just going to do some basic powers and exponents. So here we have 10 to the second power. And our first step that we always want to do here is we want to expand that base. So we're going to do 10 times 10, because the exponent tells me that I have two of these that I need to multiply together, and that gives me 100. Here I have 10 to the 1 power, and that means just 10, which is just 10, because I only have one of these. Now, the pattern that you see here, if you look at it carefully, you go from 100 to 10. So each time you are basically taking 1/10 of this, or dividing by 10. And that's the opposite of your exponents at this point. So if I divide this by 10, 10 to the 0 power is 1. So this, very important, okay? If you use the same pattern for any other number, it actually comes out 1 every single time for any time that you have a 0 exponent. So 2 to the 0 power is equal to 1. 1,000,000 to 0 power is 1. 5 to 0 power is 1. Okay? So this is a very, very smart thing to write down. Very important lesson for this. Now, if I were to take this and divide that by 10, that's actually 1/10. So this actually gives me, well, going by the pattern, 1/10. And if I divide this by 10, 1/100. So go ahead and copy this part down. This is kind of a just a pattern for you to kind of use and look at, because what we're going to talk about next is when we have negative exponents. And again, today's lesson is actually kind of easy. So if you notice from that last one, anytime that you went into the negatives, we didn't get a negative answer. We basically got a fraction. So anytime you see this, we're going to rewrite it with a 1 on top. So this is just 1 2 to the 4th power. So that negative sign almost kind of gives you an indication that you're going to create a fraction out of it. So I'm going to rewrite this again. So it'll be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 4 times, and that's going to give me 1 out of 16. So rewrite, multiply it out, and then simplify it. What happens if we have a negative sign in parentheses? Well, you're just going to write the same thing. -2 4 times, and that's going to give me 1, -2, -2, -2, which also equals to 1 out of 16. That gives you +4. +4 times -2 is -8. -8 times -2 is +16. Now this one is a very tricky one, because that negative is not included with this. So what you're going to need to do here is you're going to need to just do this part without that negative sign. And that's going to look like the same thing as the top. Since we know that it's going to be this answer, it's actually going to be 1/16. And we're going to just make that negative, just because that negative is not included with the items being to the negative exponent. Alright, and that was it. Nice and simple. Alright, so if you need more information or would like to catch up on past lessons, you can follow me on www.youtube.com/user/tycodad. And our Chuck Norris fact for today is, Chuck Norris does not do push-ups, he does earth downs. Thanks.